Okay, I am just going to kind of walk you guys through what I do on a daily basis. So, what I do when I wake up in the morning and what I pretty much just try to get done and what's the most important things. So, I'm going to share my screen with you so I can show you all this. Okay. Awesome. So, every morning, what I first and foremost do, guys, is I read personal development. So currently what I'm reading is You Are a Badass, and I just highly recommend that you find something that's kind of suiting your mood and suiting the vibe that you're kind of in and the flow that you're going through right now. Only because you can spend 3 hours a day listening to personal development, but if it's all stuff talking about um, let's see, like how to be a leader, and you're like a brand new coach, that stuff's really not going to have much of an effect on you in the beginning. Instead, what you need to be reading about is, like starting your own business, why it's important to do these simple little tasks every day, and, slowly starting to understand that all of what you're doing now matters for the future. That every little conversation that you're starting is planting a seed. Whether it's a yes, a maybe, a no, or no response, you had an effect on that person's life. So just kind of figure out what it is that you're missing in your life right now and start with that. First and foremost, before you start any conversation or open up any form of social media, you should have already listened to either Darren Daily or YouTube something or reading something in a book. After that, obviously everybody's mornings kind of vary. Maybe you don't have the time to work out in the morning and you would rather work. For me, what I'd like to do is I start with my personal development, and I will actually hop on to Facebook first thing in the morning. I just do that. That's kind of like my way of clearing my head because I wake up with a lot of thoughts. So I like to just kind of get a little work done before I start to work out. So what I do first is I always have two Facebook tabs open. So you can see here. So one, I usually have my messages open, and then the other I just kind of have blank. So I'll have just my full messages open. So I'll click on messages here, and then you can scroll down to where it'll say see all, and I'll have this page open. So the first thing I like to do is just get rid of all of my unread messages. So what I will do is I'll click more and then click on unread. This is going to show me all the messages that I have not responded to yet. So unless I already know where the conversation left off, I'll just kind of start picking it up right there. Otherwise, I'll have the other tab open so that I can go to their page. So this girl right now, for example, Abby Keller. I could go to her page right now, type in her name, click on it, and what I'm going to do is kind of scroll through everything. Is kind of scroll through and just kind of see, like, did she ever post anything up here today that, I could kind of like bring up in our conversation, and things like that. Or just kind of get a refresher of, okay, who was it that I was talking to? What were we talking about? So I will go through and get rid of all of those messages. Those are what we consider follow-ups. So right then and there, I'm going to start tracking, just like you can see, I start tracking FU follow-ups. So those are all of my unread messages. So those are conversations that I've currently been having over the past couple of days that I am still flowing through those conversations. Right after that, I will start sending out some hey girl messages or thanks for accepting my friend request. So what I do is you're going to click on your profile here, and then you're going to click on friends. Once this loads, you're going to click on recently added, and then it is going to show you the order of the people that have recently or most recently accepted your friend request. So I have already done most of these today, but as you can see, so for example, this girl, Sarah Benner. So I would see, okay, wow, she accepted my friend request. So I'm going to click on her page, and what I'm going to do is kind of scroll through and start liking a few things that she's posting about. So all of this stuff looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to start liking a few things, kind of see what she's about. I'm going to look at her about section, kind of figure out what do we have in common that I could start a conversation with. So I already did this today. So actually, no, I didn't. So what I would do is kind of like scroll through her timeline. So I could see that she's a small business owner, which is cool because that's what I am too. Look at some of her pictures and kind of feel like, I definitely get the whole like wanderlust hippie vibe, things like that. And basically I would just send her a super natural message. Most of my messages start off with, hey girl, thanks so much for accepting my friend request. Honestly, just felt like we shared a similar vibe, and I'm loving that you own your own, what I want to say, like photography business. Always cool meeting other female entrepreneurs in the area. And then this is just something that I do, because if we're going to get along, I'm going to kind of start it off right away. And something that I've been saying recently that's worked really well for me is, if you're ever down to check out a yoga class or grab coffee, I'd love to connect and support each other. Hope you're having an awesome day. It's like super simple. So, hey girl, thanks so much for sending my friend request. Honestly, just felt like we shared a similar vibe, and I'm loving that you own your own photography business. Always cool meeting other female entrepreneurs. If you're ever down to check out a yoga class or grab coffee, I'd love to connect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little tally mark next to my hey girls. So this is how I keep track of stuff. I try to do 20 of each every single day. So 20 follow-ups, 20 hey girl messages, 20 friend requests, 20 invites, and then 20 where I'm actually scrolling to the bottom of my messages. So I'll show you how I do that there. Again, I click on messages, clicking on see all. And what I would do is I would just keep scrolling down. And obviously I haven't done this in a little while, so you'll see that I'm actually back into like May. And so basically all I'm going to do is just keep scrolling down until the last person that I messaged. And this is why you want to have 2 Facebook tabs open. So I'm going to find the last person that I messaged. So say that's Megan Tachi. What I'm going to do is click over onto my second tab, type in Megan's name. And if it's been 2 months or something, I'm just going to scroll through, see what she's been up to, like a few of her photos, and then comment on it. Like, hey girl, it's been so long since we last talked. Totally just creeped on your page. Saw that you guys were just at the beach. Never fun leaving. How was it? Or what all did you guys do? Something along those lines. Just start a natural conversation. So those are like the first 3 to 4 things that I do every single day. After that, it's just a matter of adding people to your network. So sending out friend requests. A few different ways to do that. Think of somebody that you really like that you get along with. So Marissa Houck, perfect example. Somebody who's so friendly, has so many friends, and I just love being a part of her life. I would click on her friends, and then I'm going to click on more and people you may know. So these are people that Facebook thinks I would be friends with based off of my friendship and how often Marissa and I are talking. So I typically only add people that I might have more than, 10 mutual friends with, just so then we have a little bit more in common. And all I'm going to do is click add friend, and then going back to my tally sheet, I'm going to tally mark that I sent out a friend request. So it's pretty much super simple. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is, starting from home, scrolling down, and then clicking on events in your area. So either do this for places that you're planning on traveling to, places that you've visited, or where you currently live, and just look up things that you like to do already. So for example, I can see that this Friday at 8 p.m. at the Federal Tap House, which is where I work, I click interested, click on this, and click on the 857 people that were invited. And basically how this is going to list it is everybody that's at the top that says you can message are people that you're already friends with. So you can kind of like ignore those people. Everybody below, when it says add friend next to it, I kind of hover over their name, take a quick look at their cover photo, check out a few of our mutual friends, and then I'll just quickly click add friend. I can typically, my goal every day is actually about 35 to 40. So it's a little bit more than 20, but you can quickly do this. So searching events that you like, best thing to do possible. It's showing that you already know that you guys like to do some things that are similar, so why not reach out to them? I will show you something that I do as far as how I reach out to those people. This girl is actually a perfect example. So I reached out to her because we had both joined the same fitness group. We had 0 mutual friends, so I didn't want to be a total creep. And I said to her, hey girl, I hope it's okay to reach out. Just noticed we both became members of the Everything Female Fitness group, and I thought we shared a lot in common. I'm always open to making new friends, so if you're too, I'd love to talk more and support each other. So simple, okay? Like, knew that we didn't have mutual friends, so I wanted to quickly reach out to her just so that I didn't come off like a weirdo. And she totally responded and said, hey there, of course, I'd love that. I just joined a bunch of other groups. And we just started a natural conversation. So just keep it super simple. That's really all you need to be doing on a daily basis is reading personal development, okay? First and foremost, clearing out your inbox so that you can kind of start fresh throughout the day. After that, I'm going to reach out to the people that have accepted my friend request and just say, hey, okay? From there, I'm going to scroll to the bottom of my messages and start working my way back up. And then, of course, the obvious one, guys, is inviting people. So if I start a relationship with somebody now, I know that in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to invite them. So if somebody is messaging you back at that moment, definitely get that conversation going, asking them questions, just forming them. Or what do they do for work? What are their hobbies and interests? What do you guys have in common? Are they working on any goals right now? And those don't just have to be health and fitness. Are they working on career goals? Are they in school? Are they working on a family? Anything like that you can just naturally talk to them about. And then from there, maybe the conversation dies out, or maybe you just continually and casually just keep talking to each other. In 2 weeks is when you have the right to invite them to a challenge group. It's not too forward, especially if it hasn't come up in conversation yet. If they mention it to you, totally go ahead and dive right into it. Otherwise, I just say about 7 to 10 days is a really good time when you can just start to invite them. Okay? So I hope that helps as far as like how I get my mornings started. And honestly, I just repeat that 2 to 3 more times throughout the day. Okay?